Hey, so I'm sure some of you have heard about the sad news, the recent sad news actually, about the whole My Little Pony situation, and the Tell Your Tales series is coming to an end. I feel like I probably don't need to say any of this, but here we are. Now, if you're like me who doesn't really follow any news related to My Little Pony, like specifically Facebook, I just so happened to hear about this stuff over on Twitter, and what this all means for My Little Pony as a whole. Something like this could have happened. And for any of you wondering out there, this has nothing to do with the writing. This has nothing to do with the animation, or the characters, or any controversies. I don't know. But what we do know is that I do have one theory. I think this might have something to do with the toys. Maybe it's the toys that aren't really selling as much. I could be wrong on that. But even if that were the case, it's still too early to end G5 this early. And that's just my opinion. But that again, this doesn't mean that My Little Pony G5 as a whole is coming to an end. There's still a lot to kind of just go over. I feel that Hasbro probably just needs to kind of just start anew. I don't mean like start from scratch or anything like that. That's not. I'll try to make this as short as possible. The last time I made a video like this was about 5 years ago when I made a video about the last and final season of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Well, we already know that My Little Pony Friendship is Magic was successful. We already know. And they haven't been this successful since the 80s, since the first generation. Generation 2, we know, doesn't have an animated series. And, well, it did manage to last for maybe 8-7 years. I don't quite remember. I might need to check the Wikipedia or something. And to me, I think it is just sad that they had to make this decision. Now, I can understand on whatever the reason is. Again, I don't really have the knowledge for that. And I get that Generation 5 tried to be its own thing, just like every other previous generation before it. And we really haven't seen anything this much fun and exciting and enthusiastic in a very long time. For me, as a enthusiast when it comes to things like this, like when it comes to toys and animated series, Bakugan was my childhood back in the days. I remember when Bakugan first came out around, this was like around like when I was in middle school way back in like 2010, 2012, and I remember I would collect the toys way back then, and after the series ended like around 2012, well, I was pretty devastated when that happened, and it wasn't until 6 years until they rebooted the series. Now here in this case, with My Little Pony, I don't think we're ever going to experience this in a while. I mean, that's just my opinion, because I feel that My Little Pony is kind of struggling when you think about it. With all the recent backlashes and the, the conspiracies, I mean, I try to stay away from all that stuff because I don't really believe in all that stuff. Honestly, I don't think you should either, but don't take my word for it. I don't know. But you are all entitled to believe in your own philosophies and ideas. But like I said, if you haven't heard the news already, yeah, My Little Pony Tell Your Tales is coming to a close. I think the last episode will be until October 17th. Yeah, it looks like it. But yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen next. But I wouldn't panic. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what's gonna happen next. Hopefully Hasbro will come to their senses and maybe try something different for once, and maybe hopefully make something that everybody's going to enjoy, at least in my opinion, my perspective. And I think we can all agree that this isn't the end. This is not the end of My Little Pony. But this is just unfortunate. I'll still, as a content creator, I'll still continue to make My Little Pony content, but it's just very hard to do, especially as of now. I'm currently working at a paying job, and after I heard the news about this, I just turned on my webcam, turned on my VC face to put up this model. I really don't have time to just be editing and all that stuff and putting my pony character on screen. I just needed to just get this out there and just kind of just share my thoughts about this whole situation. But hopefully this doesn't, raise any more panics than it already needs to be. If you find this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Take care.